Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Animac here from Anime Outpro, and welcome to another episode of the One Piece Virgin podcast. In this episode, we're talking about chapters 303 to 321 of the manga, and the arc known as the Long Ring Long Land arc. Definitely not a tongue twister, and praised by some as one of the greatest shonen arcs of all time, or so I've heard. So, looking forward to getting into this, and one of the stands of this arc is here with us today, our boy Rustage.
Okay, I want to get it forward. I'm not a stan of this arc. It is one of my least favorites in One Piece. I just like it still. I think it has merit, and in the manga it's pretty decent. In the anime it's bad, but in the manga I think it does a lot of things.
Marketing, Rustage, okay?
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, okay. One of the biggest stands, it's got to be like a conflict situation.
You're right.
Okay.
Here at Rustage Limited, we believe that the Foxy arc is the best arc in all of One Piece, and anyone who disagrees will be terminated immediately.
That's what I'm talking about. That's how you do it, bro.
It's a good title now.
I'm a little disappointed. You kind of stole my thunder because I preferred when Rustage said that he thought it's still one of the worst arcs in One Piece, but it's okay. I actually preferred that take because I was gonna go full long green stand.
Okay. So Nux and Briggs, please.
Nux and Briggs!
Nux and Briggs!
All right, so I'm gonna start right off. My first time experiencing One Piece, I never watched nor read the Long Ring Long Land arc because I was told to skip it, and I did. And I just skipped, I read the first chapter, and then the last the last 2 or 3 chapters where we got introduced to a pretty badass character, but I didn't actually read the whole Davy fight thing until this day. And I could say with 100% certainty that I absolutely loved the crap out of this arc. It was amazing. These assholes that say that the Long Ring Long Land arc is not good, it's garbage, it's trash, it shouldn't be in One Piece. Fam, you and Rustage could go eat some ass together because it is one goddamn fantastic arc.
Nux, let me clarify. The only reason why it's one of the worst arcs in One Piece is because One Piece has so many good arcs. I like it more than lots of other arcs in other anime. I like it more than half of fucking Naruto's arcs,
Right,
I
look
like
at this
it
man. He makes a Naruto video at least once a month. He just comes out here roasting Naruto. All right.
Dude,
I see you. But I'll be honest with you.
I like it even more.
All right, so fine. So out of 10, what would you rate this arc? Objectively. Not compared to other One Piece arcs. Out of 10, what would you rate this arc?
7.5?
I'd give it a solid 8.
Yeah, I'd say, yeah. Okay, that's fair. It's 7.5.
All right.
I'd say high 70s. I would say 78 is what I would give it on a 100-point scale.
78 out of 10. You heard it here first, folks.
As much as I love this conversation from the One Piece hose, we gotta go to the Virgin for now, and then we'll come back to our opinions a little bit later.
Yeah. So I actually thought that I was conflicted because there was definitely some stupid parts about the arc, but then there was also a lot of fun in this arc.
God, it's so much fun.
So I thought at first we have some cool things like kind of wrapping up the last arc, Skypiea. Bellamy got his ass kicked. That was great. I absolutely love that.
I stand Bellamy getting his ass kicked. It's one of my favorite parts of One Piece. Every time it happens.
In this... Oh, damn, so he's not dead?
Bruh.
Oh, I was hoping got killed. Oh.
No, it said in the actual chapter that Dofi's like, I like your spirit or whatever. And anyone that's, anyone in this generation who's not ready to, shape up is going to get chewed up and spit out. And thank you very much, Lad Juzo, for 3,000 bits. Thank you, very cool.
Thank you. And no, I thought he was telling him that before he just, ends him. But I guess he's going to be back. Huh. All right.
Doflamingo's an amazing villain.
In the lead up to this arc, the Foxy Pirates and all that stuff, we had that the same scene from the G8 filler actually happens in this manga arc when they're all and the crew is inside the ship talking about the fact that they need a carpenter or a shipwright, and they're talking about the fact that the Going Merry has been such a important part of their lives. So that arc was in G8 in the anime, and then we also got it in the manga. And we had the Mont Blanc and the Ape Brothers. We had a little bit of them saying, "Oh, we know now that El Dorado is in the sky," and then it's like, "Oh, are they going to be disappointed?" Their whole thing they've been working on for so many years has been fruitless, and they're like, no, let's just find another adventure. So I thought that was really cool. I respect those dudes.
Yeah.
And
they
then
didn't, in my translation, they didn't say let's find another adventure. They said let's find another dream, which I actually like more.
Dream's cool.
I think adventure was the translation here, but I mean,
for us
yeah,
it was
it's the same
adventure
meaning.
with Invis. It's just really cool because you would think like they've been doing this, they've been searching for it this entire time. You think they'd be let down that they couldn't find it, and they're kind of their adventure is over, and maybe they're gonna have to split up now because really they were just helping that Mont Blanc guy, Cricket, I believe his name is.
Yeah.
But like he's like no, like over this time they obviously like grew a bond together, and they're like okay, let's join up together and go on another adventure or find a new dream. And I think it's really cool.
That's why I like the translation of dream, to be honest, because it's not about like, oh, we're getting the gold. They were never there for the gold. They were there for the dream. So
Yeah.
But anyway, either way, it's like I like that little moment. That was pretty cool.
Yes, exactly. So I like that we got kind of like a postscript of them and what they're doing, rather than just going on to the main characters and what they're doing. And then the final little tidbit before getting into the Long Island thing was Bellamy and his crew. We find out that they're working for Doflamingo, who is one of the 7 warlords. And he's not, like, to me, it was kind of like he wasn't happy with them, right? Because he believes they dishonored his flag. And so he makes them fight each other using his mysterious devil fruit powers. And at the end, I was led to believe that Bellamy was either dead or seriously injured.
Yeah, it does actually seem like it does look like he dies in that, because you have the panel of the guy about to hit him with it. That's the last you see of him.
Yeah,
the guy behind him with the sword. But nobody dies in One Piece, so.
Yeah,
How
I mean,
can you
unfortunately.
say that? That's disgusting, man.
That's a spoiler.
So,
Yo, Rustage, you just did what you always fault me for doing. You just gave us an anti-spoiler. Yeah, baby.
I only did because you
whenever
pointed it
I
out.
say something like, "Oh, Sanji dies in One Piece," Rustage always gives me crap like, "Well, either he'll die now, or if you're just joking and he doesn't die, well, that means you spoiled that he doesn't die." Like, Rustage, go chew some ass.
Animac has no idea that I am joking or not joking, and now because you said that, it becomes a spoiler. I am actually a little bit angry with you right now, Nux.
Listen,
Like, legitimately.
aside from this philosophy of spoilers, I'm just assuming that
I
no
don't care
main
about
member of the
spoiling
crew.
stuff,
I'm assuming that no main member of the crew is actually going to die. So
He says
that's
that right.
the assumption
before
that I'm
Sanji
going on.
fights Mihawk. It's crazy.
Whatever.
Listen, shut up, Nux. Okay, so Doflamingo definitely mentioned that idea of new age of pirates where only the strong survive. So that did echo kind of Bellamy's philosophy, although now it seems like he just copy-pasted it from Doflamingo. So that takes away from your standing of Bellamy, Nux.
Rip Bellamy, so sad. True, he's the best villain so far in the series after Buggy, but I think we could respect him for what he was.
Everyone knows Buggy's a secondary protagonist, not a villain.
How dare you? He's a primary protagonist. This man is going to be the pirate king, and you're going to eat your ass just like Rustage.
I'm like a fucking Ouroboros. I eat my own ass.
So then I guess Doflamingo
Rustage,
also...
I just want to compliment you for a moment because I only dish it out to people I know that could take it.
Doflamingo
Aside
then
from
also...
Evan.
Nux,
You only
Nux,
dish out your ass to people who know they can take it?
Nah, fam,
Nux,
my
back
ass
to the
is
main
not
discussion, Nux, please. Okay. The one thing about Doflamingo then that I find interesting is if he does have this philosophy that Bellamy kind of made it clearer to us earlier on, then Doflamingo is kind of the opposite of Luffy as well.
Oh, yeah, it's almost like he's one of the greatest antagonists in fiction or something.
Wow.
Roughly,
Wait,
yeah.
what type of message did we get from Dofi so far? Like, I love that this arc actually started with Doflamingo. I did not remember that at all. Like, what did Dofi give off that like he was opposite to Luffy?
Oh, he said if you're not strong, you can't be a part of my crew.
That wasn't just it. Like, Dofi said that they were talking about a sky island. I think it's actually real. You could hear the bell, and you hear and Dofi's like, I don't give a crap about that. Like, that's not what it's all about.
Yeah, I
Yes,
don't care
so
about
it's
it,
like
but, yeah.
the idealism and dream chasing of Luffy versus someone who's like, you need to be strong to survive. It's all about,
Okay.
the realism.
So he's not almost like as extreme as Bellamy, where Bellamy thinks dreams are a joke. I feel like he just doesn't like Doflamingo just doesn't care as much. He's more about being strong and money and all that. But he's not anti-dreams.
Right. He's not per se anti-dreams. he doesn't care what other people do as long as they deserve this like almost utilitarian respect. That,
if you're strong, you're allowed to dream.
Yeah, it's kind of like might makes right, and if you have power, then you get.
It's
to
not
make the
even.
rules.
I don't think it's even.
It's not even
if
might.
you're useful to him. If you're useful to him. Yeah.
All right, so yeah, those were interesting kind of lead-ups or intros into the arc, and then we get to the actual Long Ring Island thing.
Long Ring, Long Land, and it's funny because it has that name because the animals are long.
Can I just say,
not just animals, bro.
I never
everything
in
is
general.
long.
This arc is incredibly funny, and it was way more when I read it back. Just there's lots of little jokes throughout it that got me in real life.
I was dying. I was dying.
It was shit like that's a it was fuck the dog.
I know what you're thinking.
The cat with the face that was wide.
It's that's not a dash hound. It's a dash.
I don't know.
And he's like, that's not a duck. It's a duck. And then Luffy's like, what's that? And the guy's like, I don't remember. Let's say a duck. And the guy's like, that's a duck. And Luffy's like, damn, I wonder if that's similar to ducks.
Usopp has a lot of quite little quips he makes to that. It's really funny as well. Yeah, I like it.
Great.
There's
the fact that the guy's like, here's 10-year-old cheese. And he eats it. And he's just like, he's dying on the ground from eating 10-year-old cheese.
Yeah.
And Chopper's like, what's wrong? And he like pulls out his stethoscope. He's like checking for his breathing. And he's like, I think it's food poisoning, guys.
It's like, no shit. And I also love the bit where Usopp's like, oh, they're obviously going to want me. And then the next panel is like, who's that fucking ugly guy? Nobody's going to want him.
Yeah, so I thought that at first, when this first started, like we had the guy introduced with the stilts who was up there for 10 years and all this long stuff on the island. I was like, this is stupid. Like, it's funny, but in like a really stupid way. Because think about it. We went through this whole thing with Skypiea explaining how within that world it all makes sense scientifically and all this other stuff. And then it's like, oh yeah, this dude was for 10 years on stilts because he was too scared to come down. I was like, this is...
That's back to the One Piece feels. It's got that lighthearted humor, but then it gets super serious out of nowhere.
Yeah, so that part was dumb to me. That part was dumb to me, and I thought that in that as it was building up, I was like, oh, okay, I can see why some people don't like this. But then when we get the Foxy Pirates, again, once we just got the Foxy Pirates at first, I was like, these guys seem ridiculous. But when we got to the weird pirate tournament arc, I thought there was actually a lot of fun there, a lot of funny things, and I did enjoy reading it.
Yeah. I think the reason why it's very disliked.
Look at that man! That man's head is chopped in 2 pieces, and he just like falls down, so genuinely hurt from Luffy's insult. And the whole crew's like, "Wow, man, how can you do something?"
Yeah,
he does that throughout the whole thing, and Luffy even uses it to his advantage in battle.
Yeah, I think even in the fight, it's
like
great.
There's a whole bunch of clones like in the smoke, and he's like, "You will never find out who the actual Foxy is." He's like, "Oh my God, who is that Two-Face man?" And like one of the clones just like falls down on the ground, like, "Oh."
Yeah, how am I gonna find the stupid-looking pinhead Two-Face? Like,
yeah.
But back to what Animac was saying real quick. I think part of the reason why so many people dislike this arc, on top of the anime being overly stretched out, which definitely makes it worse. This is it's kind of like a canon filler arc because it doesn't really, other than the start with Doflamingo and the end with Aokiji, everything in between isn't all that relevant to the story and the world at all. It's almost as though it's filler.
At the moment.
Yes and no, because the idea of a Davy back fight like really fits in the weird culture of pirates in One Piece.
It does, but I'm just...
Also, can I say, it does a really effective way of building up the trust between the Straw Hat Pirates and the fact that they would fight for each other before the next arc, and I think it makes the impact of the next arc a lot more strong because of it.
Ooh.
Like,
thank you for raising your hand, Rustage.
I just wanted to. Yeah.
But I think you're right. We can talk about that when we get to Water 7. That's a good point.
Yeah.
And I do think this is like, it's a good arc. It just it's very low ranked for me compared to other One Piece arcs. But having read the manga, I'm very happy to say that I don't dislike it.
If you compare it to like the long sagas, you're right. I think it doesn't compare. But the fact that the guy challenges Luffy to a fight and Luffy he's immediately like hell yes or whatever. Like, you know, typical Luffy style. Meanwhile, Nami, Usopp, Zoro, and Robin are by the boat. and they're like, our captain is going to propose a challenge to your captain, and like later, and Nami's like freaking out, and Zoro's like, oh, I like your challenge, you know, and then basically. You got this one panel when they heard that they accepted it, where you have Nami like, no, that means we're in trouble. And Sanji's like, oh, he accepted it. And Zoro's like, perfect, hell yeah.
You can tell that Nux actually reread the chapters this week. This is beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it. Really, arc was great.
Zoro has that really good moment where after, I'm sorry for skipping ahead slightly, but after like Chopper is like taken and he's crying and stuff, and Zoro's like,
ooh, that is a great moment.
You know, you decided to become a pirate.
Man up.
Play by the rules of a pirate, man up. And they're like, Zoro, how could you say that? You know?
And it's perfect because Nami's like, who cares about that? Obviously, he's going to be sad. And then right away, like, Chopper, like, who wants to be a brave warrior and a man, much like Usopp, like sucks in all his tears and all his snot. He's like, I'm going to hold it back.
Yo, I love that they actually picked Chopper, though.
Yeah, that was great.
So good.
Yeah.
But anyway... The first challenge, Animac, you're the virgin. Well, I guess I am too, because I never read this arc. But
I never read this arc either. I only watched it.
What did you think of the race?
Yeah, continue.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I think that it makes sense for it to be long in the anime, guys.
Get it? Because it's the long ring out.
Yeah, exactly. But
It's
no,
very
I think
stretched out.
basically it makes sense, and it there's a lot of comedy that comes out of the whole challenge, the Davy Back challenge or whatever. But these guys are basically, the Foxy Pirates are basically like crooked carnies. Like they set up the whole situation in a way where they're just gonna screw you over. And a lot of the times the Straw Hats fell for it, and only later on do they kind of like get the hang of it and start playing the game. But so it was very frustrating at times to see on how unfair it was, and I was like, bro, fuck, stop going along with it, stop accepting all of their rules, they're clearly all crooked. But that also gave way to some really, really funny moments. Now, the donut race, so the first challenge out of the three, again, it was a lot of fun. I liked the crazy interruptions and the humor, and I loved and hated at the same time because it was frustrating, but I also loved, and it made perfect sense, how the Foxy Pirates distracted the other Straw Hats so that they wouldn't interfere with the race while they were all interfering. So we
They're
had
like shooting cannons at their little boat made out of like 3 barrels.
yeah, so because they were interfering, the Straw Hats also had the right to interfere. But the Foxy Pirates distracted them. So for Zoro, they gave him drinks to drink. For Sanji, they had like all these chicks kind of flirting with him. For Luffy, they gave him food, right? So they specifically knew how to target these guys. So they were really like con artists or carnies. You know, tricking a mark. In
But
that sense, I thought it was interesting.
I think that's quite an effective thing this arc does, in my opinion, is that it kind of plays to the weaknesses of the Straw Hats that aren't to do with their fighting anyway, right? Because everyone on the Foxy fucking crew is obviously way weaker than all of the Straw Hats, right? But
Even
like
that big slippery guy. I mean,
right, but one of Luffy's
Usopp versus big slippery guy. I don't know.
one of Luffy's biggest weaknesses is that he's kind of dumb, right? And Foxy like tricks him a lot, and like really simple tricks, but Luffy falls for it because that's quite a big weakness of his, and it's really cool that they showcase this weakness. And I'm thinking about this. It's kind of good foreshadowing in a way, a little bit. I won't, but I guess I can't go deeper into that point.
I guess I hear what you're saying.
But you know what I mean, right? I think they showcase a lot of the qualities of the Straw Hats in this and do a lot of foreshadowing to set up later arcs, which is why I think this arc is actually kind of important and why I wouldn't recommend skipping it. Because Usopp also uses that dial for the first time. Like, he uses it on his hand, right? As part of his kit for the ship. And I think that's really cool.
He also used it in G8, if you want to count G8. But
No.
if you don't, then
Have you ever watched G8?
In canon. I've never watched the anime, so.
You should watch G8. I think that's the one filler arc that's worth watching.
I watched a video of a guy talk about how great it is. So
It's not like amazing or anything, but for filler, it's like top tier filler. And
yeah. I think G8 is just as good as this arc that we just read.
I like this much more than G8.
I like it a little better,
yeah.
only because it has the Doflamingo start and the Aokiji end. The actual fun inside of it, I think, is on par with G8.
Yeah, and you can't really count
I hear that.
the
I hear
stuff.
that.
You can't count the stuff at the beginning and the end because the GA wasn't allowed to do like, game-changing stuff at the beginning and the end. But I think it was just as fun. So yeah, the blatant cheating really did frustrate me a bit because they had their own referee.
And I loved
for the game.
cheating. That was hilarious.
No, but
like
it was funny, but it was also
the referee's like the referee, doesn't
If
see.
fucking Nux Taku was in
it was funny.
One Piece
it was
universe.
funny, but guys, it was funny, but it was also frustrating from the perspective. It's like I'm rooting for the Straw Hats, and why are they letting this shit happen?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I definitely respected Nami again. I think she was the MVP. First of all, in the initial race, she was doing a lot of smart things as the navigator. She wasn't falling for the tricks. In the end, they had to use Devil Fruit to win at the last moment. And in the second match, where the referee was blatantly cheating, Nami's the one that finally is like, fuck this. And she takes away secretly takes away the cards,
card.
the yellow card and red card, and the whistle, in
And
order to actually like give them a fighting chance. Everyone else was just kind of like going with it. I was like, stop going with it. Don't let him pick the fucking referee. Don't, All right. Rant over.
You love the Nami moment where she stole the cards. I love the just comedic Straw Hat moments that even through the cheating,
Yeah.
I love that. It was so good. This is one of those times where that reminds me why the Davy Back fight is in fact better than Marineford, I mean, like...
See, the beauty of something like Marineford, despite how serious it is, it still has comedy in it. How can they do that? One Piece is amazing.
Yeah, One Piece does blend
No spoilers.
really well.
Oh, I'm just saying it's serious and funny.
I
That's
guess-
One Piece all around.
I guess why I get frustrated is just because I like to, when I'm reading something that I want to put myself in the shoes of the Straw Hats. And I know if I was
I
there...
knew you would get frustrated. But I think almost being frustrated, it's not a bad thing to feel, if that makes sense. Because it makes
I think that's what Oda wanted us to feel, right?
That makes the satisfaction of them, beating them in the end and what like all the more satisfying.
Well, the Straw Hats are notorious pirates. There aren't exactly pirates you can relate to. Usopp, Nami, Chopper are more relatable, while the monster trio, Sanji, Zoro, and Luffy are kind of idiots that are really strong. You're not supposed to relate to them. Maybe not Sanji. Sanji's got some IQ up there. Probably 189. He's dumb smart, bro.
I have to say, I don't think either of the three of them are stupid, like low IQ. In fact, I think the IQ is dumb high, like 189. But anyway, not to talk about that. I do think that they're all genuinely smart in their own way.
I don't think Luffy has a high IQ if you were to do an IQ test. I think maybe...
I don't think he has a high IQ either, but I don't think he's stupid.
He's not an
idiot.
He's not exactly smart.
He doesn't care about consequences. Like, his priorities, I think, are what shapes his intelligence.
Yeah, but think about this, though. Okay, so think about this. In terms of what you just said, he doesn't care about the consequences, and yet he really cares about his crew. So what if the consequences of him stupidly accepting this challenge without knowing any of the rules ended up actually losing permanently members of his crew?
Yeah. But he's also very confident in his abilities and Zoro's abilities and his crew's abilities, right? Like, he knew for a fact there was no way Zoro and Sanji could lose, because at the end of the day, they could just kick their ass. Yeah,
because they're the protagonists. But if he didn't consider himself to be the protagonist, he could technically lose.
Many of the decisions Luffy makes are dumb. Like, he makes dumb decisions because he doesn't care about consequences. But I don't think he is a dumb character.
So I just want to quickly...
I don't know, man. I don't know. Sometimes he is dumb.
Yeah, Animex saying that the fact that he cares about his crew and the fact that he doesn't care about consequences are like conflicting personality traits that someone shouldn't have, right?
I don't think they're conflicting personality traits. I just think that that's why he's not a perfect character. Like, he makes mistakes. Yeah. He's a flawed person.
And he makes up for those mistakes with his raw strength.
Animex, I do think that
and his big heart.
I think the trust for his crew outweighs like his recklessness in a way where that it kind of fuels into his recklessness because he trusts his crew so much, especially in the situation at the Davy Back fight.
Maybe, but I can't personally, and that's why I guess I relate most to Nami, is because I can't personally. If I was in that situation, if I was Luffy, and it's like, oh, we're challenging you to this fight, I would be like, okay, so what are the rules? What's up with this? No, you don't get to pick the fucking referee. Like, I would be very upset. In the One Piece
universe, you would be a Marine officer, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yo, Rustage, I've been wanting to say this. This is a big shout out to the One Piece D&D that happens on Rustage's Twitch and second YouTube channel. So Animac was saying it's hard to relate these characters, and I 100% agree, because if I were in their shoes, there was so many things that I would do. Like, I was even talking about this while reading it. Like, bro, Robin could have Loki, like, you could interfere with every battle. Robin could just be snapping necks left and right. Right? She legit
and even
could.
If you don't want to snap next, you could be snapping legs.
Exactly.
But that's kind of what I like about Robin, because I think Robin, you know, she doesn't show it, but she's like secretly enjoying the whole thing, right?
Yeah, that's true.
She thinks it's, and you even see scenes of her of being like enjoying it and how
she comments on the afro and thinks it's cool and like she's having fun.
So before we get into the third thing, because I want to say about the third challenge.
We didn't do the second one yet. We didn't talk the second one.
We are talking about the second one right now. That's what we're talking about right now. Because I was talking about the referee thing and how I was frustrated. Because, so if I was there, I wouldn't be like, you know, Zoro and Sanji, like, oh, yeah, you guys get the referee, you guys get to use weapons, and we don't. Cool, we're still going to fight you despite of that. In spite of that, I would be like, no. Let's turn the tables on them. So that's why, again, I relate to Nami the most.
What do you mean, let's turn the tables on them? If they would take their sword, they'd get a red card and they'd lose,
They can't get a red card if the ref's neck snaps out of nowhere, okay?
Bro, played the game like the Straw Hats. They wanted to win. They got into a fight. Zoro's an honorable guy. He wanted. It was also kind of hilarious.
You can't be honorable when the other guys are dishonorable. They were completely.
They are though. They are honorable when the other guys are dishonorable. That's part of their character.
Yeah, that's
okay.
Just because you don't agree and you would fight dirty. That's not their character.
And I can't keep talking over each other. We can't keep talking over each other.
Okay.
We can't keep talking over each other, guys. I believe that Nami was the only one that I could relate to in this situation. Robin also, she was too like just on the bleachers watching. I thought she should have done more. But Nami actually did stuff that I would do, like tried to even the playing field by taking away the red card and the yellow card and the whistle, and then giving him the ref the whistle to blow when he thought he was going to blow a foul, but it was actually the final whistle of the game. So like that, I liked that, but I couldn't relate to the other guys who were like, "Oh yeah, you're fucking us, and you might take our crew members and all this other stuff."
Does not understand
we'll
comedy.
fight you by your rules.
Sorry, Virgin. I'm not on your side on this one, boy.
What I'm saying is being honorable in the face of dishonesty and unfairness and unhonorableness is like one of the messages of One Piece. Like in the first chapter, that's what Shanks does, right? He doesn't fight back against those mountain bandits because he's being honorable. You know, that happens quite a lot, right?
Yes.
Luffy and Zoro, they don't fight back against Bellamy straight away in the thing, right? Because they've got honor, even against people who don't have honor, they don't want to lower themselves to that level. They will, and they also, it's kind of like big dick energy. If they can win under those circumstances, that's even more of a humiliating loss for the opponents. And I think, that's something that
also we get some great moments out of that fight. We get to see Zoro's no sword style. He could kick your ass even if they didn't have swords. The fact that Sanji and Zoro were bickering the entire time, and finally when it came down to it, they're like 10 seconds. That's all I need. They're like 10 seconds of cooperation is all they needed.
Where they team up. They team up for 10 seconds. Oh my god.
That's the only time they got along. Those 10 seconds are the only seconds in the entire series. Go ahead.
That reminded me of the Bon and Meliodas when they're like arguing and fighting the enemy at the same time and kicking the enemy's ass.
I think the difference is when they argue, it's like kind of like a broship bickering, while Sanji and Zoro are just like minutes away from straight up dismembering each other.
I like combination attack though.
Yeah, that was great. I loved the whole Long Ring Longland arc. It was so good.
I'm surprised.
It's the playful side of One Piece, you know?
Did the person who recommend One Piece to you, Nux, not ever speak to you or know who you are? Because if I was recommending you One Piece, I would not tell you to skip that arc because I knew you would like it.
Yeah, I know, like, Nux
apparently not.
Whoever that is the captain of the Foxy Pirates.
Bro, Foxy is such a mad lad, bro. This man is gathering the strongest pirate crew on the seas.
Bro, listen to me. Rustage, you know this. Yes. If you've ever done a collab with Nux, you know that he basically puts you in a Foxy Davy back challenge every time you collaborate.
I was going to say this earlier. Nux always says, like, oh, he's buggy or whatever, but it's like, no, if Nux was in the One Piece universe, he would be Foxy.
Oh, yeah.
He is Foxy. Nux would be, like, fucking with people whilst they're trying to do shit. Like, Nux the
Foxy has one of the most broken powers in One Piece.
Yeah, that is we should talk about his devil fruit.
And now that it's mentioned, I love memeing on this because a lot of the power scaling people say Luffy is light speed because he could dodge Foxy's photon beam, and photons are light. So Luffy could dodge light speed attacks, so Luffy's light speed.
Yeah.
But my favorite part in this is there was a mirror that was like reflecting the light in the third challenge, and Foxy had a little mirror in his hand, and he was catching the light beams. So that means Foxy is also light speed.
Everything.
No, yeah,
in the One Piece universe, light is slower than light speed.
Ooh.
yeah. These photon things were definitely not going
Not light
speed.
speed.
You could
Luffy's not a
literally
scientist.
see them. Like you could see them, so they were not light speed because you wouldn't be able to see them if they were light speed.
I don't know. You know what? Okay. I don't know.
Right,
You know
I
what
really-
light is, but
Let's not argue the power scaling. I just wanted to say I thought it was humorous.
Just don't even try to power scale One Piece because Oda does everything in his power to avoid power scaling. How
Yeah.
long is his reach? It's 500 Gumu Gumus. It's like he's not gonna. It's not serious. It doesn't affect the story. Like, don't do it.
Yeah.
Do it for Dragon Ball Z.
So yeah, let's talk about the third challenge because Afro Luffy was hilarious, and the whole challenge again. I was like, yo, they
And the fact that Usopp's his coach and says to him,
Yeah.
if you put on this afro, it will make you far stronger. And Luffy's like, oh my god, really?
Bro,
Yeah,
they're
well-
literally referencing all these like Ashita no Joe and the typical shonen protagonists too, with like don't give up, I keep on getting back up. Like it was so good.
as a side note, and I brought this game up before, but in the game Jump Ultimate Stars, there is a version of Luffy where he's just entirely Afro form, and he was like my
Wow.
favorite character to play.
It's the Super Saiyan version of
Yeah,
Luffy.
essentially.
Is it
yeah,
the
so
Afro
the whole thing,
that
the
makes
whole
the
thing was
man?
hilarious, and it was pretty, again, frustrating at the beginning because they're like, "Oh, look, we're gonna be fighting on our ship," which I just knew was like full of traps and like,
Yeah, because the cannon, like, you saw it, ka-chink, it
Yeah.
put into place that it was going to shoot.
yeah. So it was manipulated, and I was like, "Oh, why are you letting this happen?" But they kept going. All right, but it ended up being really cool, and Luffy, Afro Luffy, actually used strategy when he used a mirror on Foxy to turn the beam back at him. So I was like, thank you, Luffy, for actually using strategy after being a total moron the whole arc.
Xan Rising is right.
fun-
Afro Luffy was actually stronger than like.
Don't say it.
Yeah,
Spoilers, don't say it. But
Yeah, he was stronger
funny.
than Goku.
Yeah.
Stronger
He
than
was.
Goku, faster than light, confirmed. Anyway, so one of the great things is I'm right now thinking about. Wait a second. Animac reading the fight between Luffy and Foxy. Luffy walks into the room with Foxy with like a mask on, like looks like a doctor. And when Animac saw that, Animac's like, Luffy, it's him. There can't be anyone else on the
Watch
ship.
out, Luffy.
Get him. And then he's just like, I am a humble doctor. I don't know who this Foxy you're speaking of is. And Luffy's like, oh, I'm
And I'm
sorry
like,
about
double
that.
name Luffy, double. I mean, I should do
Luffy,
live
that's
reactions.
him, Luffy.
I should do live reactions of the chapter and just like freak out.
Luffy, watch out! Oh man, is Luffy gonna be okay?
No,
Yeah,
he
no, so
doesn't
I'm-
care about that. He's
I'm
just
okay
about the
with-
dumb moments.
I'm okay with, the funny dumb moments. It's just that when it turns into, oh, this could have serious consequences because you're being so dumb, like losing your crewmates, that's where I kind of be like, yo, man, tone back or
I don't
dial
know,
back the
man.
dumbness.
I stand the Foxy arc. I mean, Davy Back and Marineford are like two pretty great arcs, but I think Davy Back is the superior of the fights. What guys?
Yeah, it is honestly a solid arc. 100%, I really like it.
Foxy arc's
I
better
have to
than
say-
Syrup Village, 100% without a doubt.
Oh yeah, no,
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, 100%, yeah.
I agree with that too. I think that
I
again,
don't know,
Usopp being
I-
introduced in Syrup Village was the important thing. But otherwise, the Foxy Pirates were definitely better than the stupid Cat Pirates.
Yeah.
If you actually think about it, though, you can't compare this to like long sagas in One Piece. That's just not fair. Like comparing this to the Alabasta saga, you
Yeah,
can't.
of course.
Right. But it's another reason why the
But I
arc is
like
so
Wandering
effective.
Longland better than Little Garden.
Yeah, well, it's why the arc is so effective, because if the arcs were just long saga after long saga, I feel like that would just, you need stuff like this. You need little arcs in between them to
Yeah.
change up the pace. It's also, I love arcs where you Straw Hat crew are interacting with each other, and they're with each other and they're doing things together,
Well,
and you get to see their chemistry.
Part of the beauty of One Piece is you really don't. Like, a lot of series, they need to take that time to develop, to have those interactions, but somehow One Piece manages, throughout a serious arc, to have those fun moments and have, they do spend their time. Like even like let's think about like there's some arcs that are over 100 chapters long, and they slowly take their time to build up to the climax. And leading up to it, there are fun little parts like this Foxy fight, for example. It's more that this is just an entire arc, but I still think it's amazing. And it's only like what 16 chapters that they're actually like in the Foxy like battle.
Top tier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, with the big long sagas, the
great.
thing with the big long sagas is that you have to have. There's a lot of build up, and there's a lot of like emotional moments that. It's not just gonna be. There's gonna be comedy in it, but you have to have these big emotional highs and lows. So I agree with Rustage that you do need some arcs that are like shorter, easier to digest, more lighthearted.
I'm
100%.
in agreement. I think Rustage was absolutely right when he said that it's a great arc and wants to join the podcast, and I appreciate you, Rustage. You're a good dude.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Nux.
I mean, you may eat ass sometimes, but aside from that, like, I mean...
That's what gives me impeccable taste.
Oh.
Impeccable aftertaste. Yeah.
Dude,
So,
it's
and
good.
then-
It's good. I love the Foxy arc. I can't get over how much I like
I'm really
it.
glad. I'm really glad
Dude,
that you
it's
do.
so
Nux.
good.
I'm not surprised
Shame
at all.
Animac,
like I
Animac
said.
is looking at all these goofy moments, like from a like intellectual standpoint, like, oh my god, do they not see that they have weapons in their pants? How did that weapon even fit in their pants? You know, like, the second fight. Like, oh, it's such a good arc, bro.
No, exactly. I think for a memer like you, who doesn't like think about things like rationality or anything of the sort,
that's me.
this
That's
is
me.
a great arc. And I, like I said, Foxy, as much as I think Usopp, yells like you, Foxy is your alter ego, man.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
Well,
100%.
Can we just talk for a moment about how this man, with a tiny bounty, went up against a crew where the captain has 100 million berries, and he was so confident in his victory. This man won the last 920 Davy back fights in a row.
Damn.
He didn't take a single L in his whole career until this point, all right? Can we give some respect to Foxy, please?
Oh, no, Foxy.
And
Not
you
gonna
gotta
lie, he's
respect
no
the
Bellamy.
dude.
He's no
I
Bellamy.
mean, you can understand why he has that confidence. Like even if like he has the better, they have a plan for the race and the ship, where the other team is not going to even know that there's going to be a race, so they're not going to have that setup with a fishman in that ship. Plus, worst case scenario, he just slows them down that they had no idea he could slow them down. They have the refs on their side. They have weapons and guys that know the game, and then in a one-on-one fight, he's very confident. But I do give him the respect.
Fits in the One Piece world so well. The
Yeah.
fact that he's abusing the system of this honor-based Davy back fight to get this massive army. We saw the size of his ship. Like,
it's not even dishonorable because it's a pirate fight.
no, I said this honorable fight.
Oh, okay. I was about to say it's an honorable thing because pirates don't play by the rules. They're more like guidelines anyway.
Hey,
that's
guidelines to the coup.
And that's why I think that the Straw Hats should also be more along those lines. It's like, yeah, we're pirates, they're cheating, let's cheat too, let's fucking win. Like that's the thing that's my mindset.
Hey, Animac, you best start believing in ghost stories, Animac. You're in one.
You're in one. It's like
I don't get that reference.
No, what?
This is so sad. You have to watch Pirates in the Caribbean, my dude. At least the first.
Oh,
one.
I did, but it's been a long time. Anyway,
Hey, Briggs. Next old movie we rewatch, Pirates of the Caribbean.
Let's do it.
Foxy is definitely better than Bellamy by a long shot, man.
I disagree, but I think Foxy's better than Don Krieg. I think he's better than Cat Dude. I think he's better than Axe Hand Morgan.
Even Vapol.
I think he's even Wapol.
Can I say something controversial?
I think he's better than Big Mom. Take that. He's a better villain in One Piece than Big Mom.
I think he No, I'm not gonna say it. No, it's too controversial.
Say get a life, grow some balls.
Okay, I think he does his job and fulfills his purpose in the story better than Doflamingo.
All right.
Oh, I don't know. People like
unironically go eat some ass.
Right. I actually am one of the people. I think Doflamingo is great, but I am one of the people who I think he's overrated.
Ooh. Well, obviously, if you probably heard from Nux before you knew more about him, Nux like, he's the greatest of all time, bro.
I overrate him as well because he's top 5 favorite villains of all time for me. But
you just like his fashion sense.
He's got a great fashion sense. What can I say?
You would have to get me out for the fucking.
One thing I have to say, I do respect that you were brave enough to say your opinion, even though I don't agree with it. And opinions are great, and I support the idea of having opinions, but this ain't it, Chief.
You're gonna have to get me on a Dressrosa episode.
Definitely
to
not.
go into more depth about why I think Doflamingo is.
Well,
I don't think
obviously
he's bad.
Doflamingo is overrated. He's like an 11 out of 10 character. Like,
by definition, he's overrated.
yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the ending of the arc. So first, obviously, Afro Luffy ends up defeating Foxy, and he even uses some strategy, which was cool, and I appreciated it. But then, Luffy's like, "Oh, so I won't take any of your crew members. I'll just take your flag."
Yes,
Now,
that's perfect for
Yeah,
Luffy.
that's so good.
Dude, that
I
was
love
great.
He doesn't want to ruin someone's adventure, their dreams.
And he
Yeah,
doesn't
he
want to
also
put
knows-
on his
you guys
crew
don't
that came from
understand.
there.
You guys don't
wouldn't get a
understand.
pirate that's loyal to his crew. Like,
You
it's
guys don't understand. The flag was the biggest dishonor of all. It's saying that he doesn't want any of his crew members because they're all shit, and taking
Yeah.
the flag was the bigger
fucking
dishonor.
flexed on them.
That's
And
Yeah.
then
not-
he didn't even really take their flag. He just fucking trolled them and drew a fake one.
Yeah, he drew another one, which now they have to technically use. I'm pretty sure, according to the
funny.
rules. Now they have
Dude,
to
that
keep
was-
this terrible one that he
Yeah,
drew.
that was great. I see no issues with that.
I see issues with it because, like Sanji, I would have liked to seen sexy carpenter girl on the straw hat ship.
Yeah, whoever the person who was like
Oh
who
my God.
erected all of those like food stands really
I
quick.
like how you said
Get them.
erected right after Animax said sexy carpenter.
All right, constructed
Okay.
all of those food stands really quickly. They should get her on the ship.
Rustage is good,
Yeah,
good
man,
at synonyms. He's a rapper.
I'm a rapper.
I do not think that that was a smart decision. I definitely relate to Sanji there. I think Luffy deserves a smack in the face for that one. I mean, you need a ship, right? And she's hot.
Yeah,
They
but is she super?
It's so
Is she
funny.
super? I don't know.
Animax-
Is she super?
Super.
I don't know. Anyway,
She recharged with Coca-Cola.
Okay, now you're going
After
too
this-
far, Dupsy boy.
after that happens and the whole flag fiasco or whatever, Aokiji shows up, and he is one of the admirals of the Marines.
Can I
And
just
he
say,
apparently
before
just
anything,
hold on, Nux. He apparently
this is
rides a
important.
bike through
this
the ocean.
is more important than anything you could possibly dream
Okay, I'm
of
just
saying.
gonna mute. I'm just gonna mute you, Nux. Are you ready?
I'm
Are you
actually.
ready? Are you ready to get muted?
You ready
I'm
to
just
get
kidding.
kicked-
I'm just
kicked
kidding,
out
you
of the
pussy.
Discord? It's my Discord.
All right, go.
I
go.
own.
I'm just
This
kidding,
is,
go
I am
ahead.
streaming right now. You guys need to get along. My house is on fire.
Dude, Aokiji is voice acted by Dio. Okay, continue. That was all.
Oh yeah, well, I couldn't see that from the manga, Nux.
It's important, and I needed to add it for context of his badassery. Continue.
No, everything was cool about him. So he has this crazy ice-based Logia fruit. It's an incredible power. He is obviously highly ranked, so we know he's strong. Not super crazy about his method of transportation. He drives a bicycle over the ocean. I don't know what the fuck was that. I don't know.
Amazing.
But everything else was cool.
He's
What
cool.
do you mean everything else was cool? This man was sleeping while standing, but still eavesdropped in their conversation, okay? This
Dude,
man bikes across the ocean, finds these pirates that are really wanted. He doesn't even give a crap about them. He's just there to basically say, oh, I was just taking a walk, guys. Oh, apparently Robin's part of your crew now. Okay, like...
So that didn't make sense to me. Like, they were trying to say he's a lazy dude. It's like, you're biking over the ocean. You could have gone on a ship. You could have done so many other things. You're
He's
not a
not
lazy
biking-
dude if you're
okay,
biking
no.
in the ocean.
Animac, he's not biking to get from point A to point B. He's just biking for because he's chilling. He's vibing on the bike. He's bike
Yeah.
vibing.
He
You know?
enjoys
And
just
his
going
bike-
around
he's
and chilling.
probably wearing Raycon earbuds. Go to buyraycon.com/nux to get a really cool pair of Raycon earbuds for 15% off. Anyway,
Nice.
but
He's not
Terrible,
thinking about what's the
terrible.
most effective way to get places. He's like, I'm gonna go.
I got a bike. Why not? It's the weather's nice today.
Yeah, would you guys say that he's pretty chill?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Wow. wow.
Yeah. Congratulations, Animac.
This man froze
Yeah.
the ocean so an old guy could walk across.
Sorry.
Okay.
You know what would have been funny?
Beautiful,
If when the old guy started to walk, he just like, oh, I changed my mind, and just unfreezes.
Aokiji is such good vibes, and we also got to see like one of his really important like philosophical thoughts on the whole series. Like he says that if I had to say I had a catchphrase, it's "screw absolute justice."
Yeah.
Did you
just-
catch that
just
line?
vibe.
Lazy
he said
justice.
he's all
is what
about
he's
lazy justice. Yeah. lazy. Just
it's such a powerful line, especially because of who he is and what he ends up doing. But like that, I was waiting for this point so I could say that like why Luffy's not stupid. Like when he was up against Foxy, he had no problem to accept his challenge, no issues. But when he was up against Aokiji, he told his crew to run, and he straight up mind gamed Aokiji, saying we'll have a one-on-one fight to the death.
Well, that's what you're assuming. It's potentially he was just sacrificing himself so his crew could get away, and maybe he even thought I could kick his ass. Because Aokiji didn't know. He's like, did he outsmart me, or did he think he could beat me? You know?
But the truth of the matter is, he did it in a way that his crew could escape, and Aokiji could have beaten their whole crew instantly. Like the monster trio attacks Aokiji. Aokiji doesn't even react, but them touching him almost freezes them all.
I think it's a great moment. I'm just saying it doesn't take a genius to assess the fact that Aokiji is way stronger than their entire crew. You know,
it's so good.
I'm not saying it's a genius, but Luffy still like
he made a good captain's decision. Absolutely,
he made a good captain's decision.
It's so good that like Luffy takes a hard L from Aokiji. Like you get to this point in a lot of shonen where you feel like the main character's invincible and just overcomes any challenge, and to have Aokiji like be so devastating and such like a, I mean, it almost feels like it's a little bit like Mihawk to Zoro near the beginning, right? Mm-hmm. It's like it demonstrates the power gap between.
And I actually thought that was a really cool thing because it does seem like Luffy really. It does seem like Luffy really does keep getting stronger to the point where he's so confident and he ends up winning because he is the protagonist. But this was a cool thing because not only did he give Luffy an L, he just froze Robin. Sanji, Zoro, and Luffy attacked him at the same time. He wrecked them like Chopper and Nami, and then we're like, whoa, did he just like take out all three of them at once without even trying? Yeah. So I thought that was really, it's upping the scales and the stakes and saying, hey, there's still a lot more to this world.
And it fits like Oda's style of introducing like a new power level of characters. Like the first one of the 7 warlords that was introduced was Crocodile. I mean, that fought Luffy. And he beat Luffy the first time, like completely. It showed the strength of like that tier opponent. This is the first Admiral we're seeing, and again, one-shots Luffy instantly, like without trying. Nami, even Robin rarely does it, where she actually just tries to break their neck real quick before the fight, and she tries, and it does nothing to this man.
Yes, and she also. Robin technically saved Luffy during both of the fights against Crocodile. So
good heroes take L's.
Also, we learned about Luffy's grandfather.
So that was 2 things that were really interesting about what Aokiji said. One was that Luffy is as crazy and careless as his grandfather, which is like, who the fuck is his grandfather? And the second thing was that Nico Robin is a very dangerous person who uses people.
And every she is time dangerous. She joins the crew, she's the only one that walks away.
Yeah, and he said that she's dangerous to the government in particular. So I thought those were all interesting bits of information that we don't really get any follow-up on within this arc.
Setting up mysteries is good and really effective in this.
Another mystery is Logia Devil Fruits, because at this point, they're still extremely overpowered. Robin was able to snap Aokiji into pieces, but he just regenerated because she didn't do damage to him, or didn't actually hurt his body.
Yeah, because he just becomes the ice.
Right.
And what's really cool is also, like, I know that this is kind of corny, but the name of his attacks gives you shivers. This man is Ice Time, Ice Age. And like, it's so badass, man. And hearing it with Dio's voice, I'm telling you.
So, quick question, Animac.
Does he have an attack called Vanilla Ice?
Hey, I see you, my dude. Rustage, can you please clap for him? I'm a disembodied internet voice. Thanks.
Congratulations, Animac. You did the one thing none of us thought we could achieve, which was please Nux.
Animac. What's it called? Do you remember why Aokiji owed Luffy one? He said he owed him one at the end, but I don't remember why.
Yeah, because
so he said
Luffy
because of his
Crocodile. No, he said because Luffy helped with Crocodile.
Luffy helped with Crocodile.
Yeah.
And also he owed a favor to his Gramps, too. So.
Yeah, didn't he say he owes a favor to his grandpa?
Yeah. So it's probably a dual thing. Like, he helped out with Crocodile. He was able to elude that, like, because Smoker did say something to Aokiji. But also, he probably, like, since he owed his grandfather probably didn't want to kill his grandson right away, at least.
Yeah, so it's like, I think that's cool, and I think it's effective as well.
Yeah, so from this, the thing with Aokiji was he was very like shifty, and that made him scary. It's like you didn't know if he was like, oh yeah, I'm just chilling here, I'm gonna let you guys go, or I'm gonna kill you all. I might kill you, I might not. I could totally kill you all right now. It was very
Would
like
it be crazy if we killed JK unless.
yeah, it was that's how it was. So yeah, Aokiji definitely a scary, cool dude, except for his weird bike.
I like him.
Except for his weird bike.
His bike was the best part. Anime.
How
Wouldn't
are
it be
you
cool
saying
if it was
This
like a
man bikes
motorbike?
he just bikes across the sea. He wanted this old man to cross, and he froze the ocean, and is like, that'll last for like a week. Okay, this man.
Yeah, but that
don't mess
was
with
the same.
ice time, Dio.
But it wasn't even a motorbike; it was a bicycle.
Yes, it was a bicycle, and this man's just squeaking around.
Do you get it? Like icicle, bicycle.
I get it. It was funny.
Right.
Not as funny as the JoJo reference, but
Yo, you should do that in your Aokiji rap. Ride his bicycle with an an
Okay,
icicle.
I'm not gonna do an Aokiji rap, but I may do a
You'll
Kizaru
do an
Aokiji
Admiral.
and Admiral rap, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
the three admirals known as the Red
But
Dog.
I have to wait. I have to wait until my two friends read One Piece that I would do it with.
Wow.
He's an admiral riding his bicycle, shooting icicles.
Whoa, bars!
Whoa, bars, fire, melts ice. Oh no, admirals.
I don't think anyone signed up for this guy. For this.
He's on his bicycle.
I think that's a
shooting
great
out
way to end the
Red
stream.
audio voiced by.
Call me Aokiji, you're owning that. You're gonna be melted like the polar caps.
So yeah, would Aokiji be really pissed about global warming?
Probably.
Maybe like,
Bro, Alan can straight up undo global warming.
yeah, perhaps. So overall, in terms of this arc, yeah, I liked it. I think
my bars
it
emotes
was-
in chat.
it was quite frustrating at times in terms of like me relating to Nami's frustration with these guys all being cheats and scumbags. But it was funny. We did have important things happen at the beginning and at the end of the arc that are definitely going to be coming up in the future. And I knew Nux would love this arc because Foxy is literally Nuxy to a T.
Yes,
Man just called me Nuxie.
it's good. It's good. It's a good arc.
It's a great arc.
And
a
I'm
great
glad.
arc.
I'm actually glad you guys agreed because I wanted to come on here to defend it, and I'm glad Nux is on my side. I'm glad you guys like it. I was
On
really
your
scared.
side, you're a hater compared to how much I love this arc.
Yeah, but you're an extremist at everything. The thing is, I really don't understand why people would call this the worst arc. Like
Because they watch
we've-
the anime. It's bad.
Yeah,
in
we've
the anime.
definitely heard
The
people.
anime
Yeah,
is-
we've definitely heard people call this the worst arc many times, and I would definitely disagree. I can name multiple arcs that I enjoyed less than this, even though I
me
enjoyed those as well.
Me too. Me too.
Well, I would say even though I enjoyed this one a lot, I'd probably give it like a 7, 7.5 out of 10 or something like that. It's still towards the bottom because these grand sagas just have so much more impact. Obviously, it's not bad, but then when you take a art that's not bad and you make it worse with the filler and make it stretched out, and it already doesn't have a big impact, you're making it worse, right?
Like the Foxy arc is better than the Great Shinobi War in Naruto. Like,
I mean, but the Great Shinobi War in Naruto is a bad arc. Like,
guess
it's
true.
Have
not
you read
good.
that arc
And
though? Because reading the
I've
Great
read the
Shinobi War is a lot
Yes,
better than
I
watching
read
it for
that.
sure as well.
yeah, I read it.
I read
I
it. It is better than the anime, but
But
it's
still not great. I know what you're saying.
And I will say one thing. A lot of people talk about Robin being a great character. So far, still, again, we've got a lot of teasing about her past, but we don't know that much about her. She's still like a background character who comes in clutch in certain points. Nami's definitely my girl. But I will say that in the anime, I feel like Robin is not as attractive as in the manga. I don't know if anyone else noticed this, but I don't know.
Why does it feel like definitely something that anime would fucking say?
Yeah, like,
right?
am
Oh
I
my
crazy?
God.
Am I
The anime's
crazy? I
like-
feel like
This man doesn't respect that Dio voices Aokiji because it's the anime, and out he comes, saying that Robin isn't as attractive in the anime. This man's priorities are
I'm
not
serious.
right.
Like, am I crazy? Because like I was watching the anime, the way they draw her nose and stuff in the anime, I was like, bruh.
Animac, literally every single Straw Hat looks worse in the anime compared to the manga, so I will agree with you.
Animac's sitting there watching the anime, being like, Robin's nose looks slightly wrong. I gotta mark some points down for her attractiveness in the anime compared to the manga. Let me go and look at my attractive anime girl chart and like shift her around a little bit. Like, you're a psychopath.
You say this like it's a bad thing. I mean, this is
Ah!
this is completely normal waifu philosophy. Okay,
Oh my
waifu
gosh.
philosophizing is an important part of my life. And no, but when I went back after watching the anime arc, the G8 arc, when I went back to the manga, I'm like, no, Robin is attractive, but I just don't like the way they portray her in the manga. In the anime.
Like I said, every single character in the manga looks better in the manga than the anime. Everything looks a little bit more weird to look at in the anime. I do want to say, for the One Piece hoes out there, go and look at chapter 310, the cover page.
I saw it.
It's got a reference,
egg, boys.
a 600 chapter foreshadowing reference to Wano.
I know. I was thinking the same thing.
That's it.
Crazy.
Leave it like that. Okay.
I mean, there's also some other great foreshadowing, but I sent you an image of it, Briggs. I'll send Rustage also.
Oh yeah. I remember what you're talking about. I saw that.
You know what changed my mind? So let me just tell you, after I had the whole anime like, oh, Robin doesn't look so good moment, I was reading the manga and then I see Robin in like the Japanese kimono in the art, and I was like, bro, what? Robin's hot. Like, what's going on in anime?
Yo, Rustage.
Yeah, so a lot of conflicting feelings going on within me, but definitely a fun arc overall. And yeah, looking forward to next week. Water 7. What are the chapters?
I'm literally looking it up as we speak.
Oh, I have it. I was ready. I was waiting. All right. So Water 7 is 322 to 374. So it's 52 chapters. Now, you want to do it in 2 shots or 3 shots?
2 shots.
I think. Hell yeah. All right. So we need to do 26 chapters.
I don't know why I said my opinion like it mattered.
Your opinion matters, Rustage. How can you say that?
Rustage, we want you to think that your opinion matters.
Yeah. That's what most people try and give the illusion of, but I know deep down that nobody cares. It's okay. Speaking of nobody cares, are we ending? Can I self promo?
Yeah.
Did you see the image I sent you, Rustage?
I did. It's cool, but also that sort of foreshadowing happens a ton.
Yeah. I know, and it's
yeah.
So where are we splitting the arc, guys? Before
Rustage
does this
until all right, so through 349.
322 to 349.
Cool.
For my gamers out there, we do me, Briggs, Lost Paws, Teching, and Too Spooky do a One Piece Dungeons and Dragons podcast every Wednesday. Oh no, every other Wednesday. Whoops.
Every other Wednesday.
Every other Wednesday. That includes tomorrow. It is at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Over on my Twitch, which is twitch.tv/rustage. Underscore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Quick thing. So if you ever watch One Piece and can't relate to the characters like Animac, you might be able to relate to your boy Ragnar, who just actually doesn't leave people alive. If you're an enemy of mine, you die. That's it. You're not gonna come back to bite me later.
But
if you're sleeping, go ahead.
I do relate to Nami, okay?
Okay.
I'm sick of people in the chat saying I'm a Nami simp because Nami is just a great character and a great waifu, and I will stan my girl Nami because she deserves it. Go ahead, Briggs.
Yeah, Briggs is crazy. He's a crazy barbarian, and he's also got a devil fruit which turns him into a bear.
Yeah.
It's very exciting.
When you guys said you were playing D&D, I didn't realize it was a One Piece themed D&D. Now that I know that, I'm intrigued.
Yeah,
it's cool. It's cool.
They were going on our own little adventure. It's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, come on by. I put my fucking Twitch in the
chat.
in the chat, and I got timed out.
And the Nightbot got rid of it.
Dude, it'll be linked on YouTube and stuff.
Yeah. I also rap about anime on youtube.com/rustage. If you don't know. And I also stream on Twitch more, like almost every day. The same Twitch.
His name is Daniel Rustage. He plays croquet in France, and he has a second channel, Rustage 2.
That's where if you want to go watch the episodes,
do you have any sponsors? Do you have any sponsors where we could input /Rustage? Anything else?
Today I'm being sponsored by Nuxtaku. So
if you want to support Rustage, go to www.nuxtaku.com/Rustage for a free code.
So today you can adopt a Nuxtaku of your own. A lot of Nuxtakus out there starving. They need money. They need food. They need water. They
Don't
need joy.
advise it, but for your own mental health, we don't advise it. But
Yeah. Yes.
Speaking of promos, guys, we do thank you for over 100 patrons on the Rank Cafe Patreon, and if you're considering supporting us on Patreon, it's patreon.com/rankcafe. All one word, not nuxtaku.com/rankcafe, patreon.com/rankcafe. Thank you so much.
Not as planned.
Anything else we need to cover before we call it a night?
If you don't want to support any of us, just Rustage, patreon.com/Rustage. I don't know.
Oh, thank you. I do have a Patreon, and that is
patreon.com/Rustage. If you just want to support Rustage.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone would.
I like that you said it in that tone.
Not gonna lie, we would prefer if you went to rankcafe.com. You'll figure it out. Love all you guys. It was awesome. No reviews today, aside from reviewing the Foxy arc.
And reviewing Daniel Rustage's Patreon.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not.
He has nudes there, guys.
I don't.
We don't know why, because he's an anime rapper who plays One Piece D&D. But for some reason, it's like, listen, guys, you want nudes? We got nudes. We got it all. Whatever.
Who the fuck would pay for my nudes? Are you kidding me?
Only one way to find out.
Only one way to find out.
Thank you guys for joining us. See you again next week. And until next time, see ya, Space Cowboys.
Bang.
Yeah. Oh, fuck, I'm dead.
Oh.
Ragnar doesn't shoot guns. He's more of an axe guy.
Yeah, or just his bare paws.
I don't know. I loved in the second fight, in the Davy back fight, the guy had like spikes coming out of his shoes, and they're like, "Those are weapons. Those are Westage." Well, and it was like there were weapons, but they were sneaky. So like, okay, fine, maybe the ref didn't notice, and the ref was like acting fishy, but like, okay, the ref maybe didn't notice. And then he pulls out this massive axe.
Yeah, that was like, it was funny, but it was so frustrating.
Oh fuck. I'm on Weeb Wars now. I've got to head off. Lost Pause is doing Weeb Wars, and I'm on it like right now. So
very cool. Best of luck
later,
to you.
bro.
Cool. Who are you
some
against?
bananas.
Who are you against?
I am up against Tekken, which means I've lost immediately.
Oh,
Game
yeah,
over.
no chance.
It depends how much
memes
it is
better
One
than
Piece.
Tekken knows anime better. You know memes better. You got this.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Okay.
It really is. It's not the right answer. It's the community answer. And Tekken knows everything that's correct.
Okay, that's true. I also just don't know anything. My brain empty. If they said like, "What's the most popular Rustage song?" I'd be like, "Yeah, I got that."